Hello there YouTube, this is Sibbles and Bits back at it again. Today we're going to be playing another title for Roguevember. This is going to be Chronoark. It is a roguelike deck building, dungeon exploring JRPG hybrid thing. It'll be a lot easier to explain the nuances once we get into the game, but we're going to be crafting a team, building onto that team. Every member of that team is going to have their own cards that they supply into our deck. And so we're going to have to try and build a cohesive, functional JRPG team with tanks, DPSs, healers, those sorts of things. And we're going to be finding unidentified potions, unidentified scrolls, much like a traditional roguelike. They blend a lot of stuff together, and I think that that's very interesting. Little bit of an FYI, though, is that this game's going to be relatively long, so this video is probably going to get cut in half or maybe even a third. So if you don't see the full run today, which is probably going to be the case, you'll be able to see it later. Now, if you want to get your hands on Chronoark, they just released their 2.0 update, which is still technically in early access. I don't know, they do their version numbers a little weird. But all 20 characters currently planned for the game are in the game, and they're just fine-tuning a whole bunch of other stuff, I guess. And, sorry, a link to their Steam store will be down in the description below. And other than that, we'll just go ahead and jump in on it. So, we're going to go ahead and go into my save. This save has been wiped of campaign progress. You can see that I'm at run 502. A little bit of a spoiler alert, but they make it pretty heavily noted, like relatively early. This is like a time loop style game, which of course leads to the roguelike nature. They start you at run 500 to sort of get you the idea of, like, canonically this has been going on for quite a while. And so I've played 2 runs since they wiped my data, and that was again for the technically 1.0 update. I understand, because there's a lot of like cutscene hooks and stuff like that for lore and other reasons, but we're going to be going into a relatively fresh like save file. I did have most of the characters unlocked, but that was on Beta Branch. And I guess I could jump onto Beta Branch to show off more characters, but you're not even going to see all the characters in a run anyways. So I figured I might as well just get quest progression here. So this might look a little bit yikes to a lot of people. A little forewarning. Yes, this is a Japanese-made game. It is a part JRPG. A lot of the art is going to be anime, and I know that that's off-putting to a lot of people. There are some things that are a bit yikes, but other than that, I would say that if you just look at the mechanics of the game, it's a very not straightforward. It's a very well-engineered, fun game that you can pretty much just ignore the fact that there's anime going on for the most part. Hopefully that becomes apparent as we play. There's also a ton of lore, and they keep this here at the start of the run so that if you want to figure out more about the deep lore about the game, which again is very anime, you can go through and look at all of these things, get all the lore bits that you would want to get. But if you want to ignore that, you don't have to interact with literally any of that. I think there's one character that you have to interact with one piece of lore in order to unlock, but other than that, you don't really have to interface with any of that if you want. So, at the start of every run, we go ahead and we select 2 people to form our party here. These people are gold bordered because they are the ones that I have beaten the game with. And we're going to go ahead and get a little bit out of our comfort zone here. We're going to play a damage over time build. Even though, these characters are very good, which is probably why I was able to beat them, just straight out the rip. I warned you earlier that there are some things that are a little bit yikes. Again, the game has an anime like placard over it, but you can mostly ignore that. However, if you have like parents, roommates, or a significant other that might get a bit of the ick, you are eventually going to have to explain this. You're going to have to explain this, and you're most definitely going to have to explain this. Pass all of that, great game. Just don't take into mind that they are currently working on a swimsuit DLC. You don't have to buy that DLC, obviously, but other than that, like all the other like character designs, like pretty decent. Again, though, incredibly anime. Now we're gonna go with a damage over time build, so we're gonna take Miss Chain as our tank. I would like to confirm. I have to get used to the new bindings here. And then, who would be the other person that we would want to put in this? Probably Sharon. Also, sort of a benefit, both of these characters have quite a bit of off healing, which is appreciated. And I'll go ahead and I'll explain all that stuff a little bit more when we start getting our actual characters. The one thing to note is that, well, with 20 characters and like 3 classes, we have like 4 supports, and you might be like, okay, how do you have 4 different healers? Actually, it's quite easy, because each character, I can't actually take a look at it right now. You'll see it when we level up characters to level 2. Each character has their own passive ability that drastically alters how they play, and their cards are also drastically different. We also have your typical JRPG stats: attack power, healing power, armor percent reduction, accuracy to hit, evade chance, critical chance, and then a feint resist, kind of like Darkest Dungeon. You're actually going to see a lot of Darkest Dungeon like paralogs here. And then of course they have resistances to weakening control, crowd control buffs. As we level them, they're going to get access to more of those stats depending on their character. And they're also going to get more cards and access to their passive abilities. So right now we just have access to a basic deck on all of our characters. And you can see that this basic attack belongs to Miss Chain, this basic attack belongs to Sharon. And so their stats are already calculated into there. Sharon has a little bit more accuracy because she is an attack roll, but otherwise they're functionally about the same. Enemies, of course, have health bars here. We have turn 1 of 5. This is basically our timer. They don't want you to stall out fights, similar to Darkest Dungeon. So what they do is when you clock out, you're going to take unmitigatable damage over time. We shouldn't technically run into that problem. Famous last words, or like comedic timing, I suppose. We have 7 cards in the deck. In this game, you are not able to look at the cards remaining in your deck, so you might have a problem with that. We are able to take 1 card in our hand and swap it out each turn. We can also wait once. And if we wait, we will be attacked here. The reason being is that you can see that these guys have some hourglasses here. This guy has 3, this guy has 1. Enemies will take their turn whenever they are... Okay, let me put it like this. Each time I play a card, it is going to take a time unit. When an enemy reduces their time units to 0, they will perform an action, regardless of what else is going on. The only exception is if something has Swift, it has a blue mana cost, and so Swiftness allows me to do something without having enemies move. This skill is from Lucy, which is technically our main character, the leader of the expedition, whatever you want to call it. And so she sort of plays as like the administrative support role of the entire team, but doesn't actually participate in combat. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Accelerate. We're going to use this on a skill. And then we're going to use this because since Accelerate gives swiftness to the skill and reduces the cost by 1, this will actually allow us to take care of that enemy before they attack us. Now, one time unit is passed, and this hedgehog has 2 remaining. So what we're going to do is also look at another mechanic that we have, which is fixed abilities. Now, you might think, okay, so each character has at least 5 cards in our deck, and the more cards I add, the less likely I am to be able to use any given character in a turn. I might never draw a heal card, for instance, off my healer, or I might never draw a tank card, might never draw a DPS card. We have things called fixed abilities, and you may notice this basic attack costs 1, this basic attack here costs 2. You can fix almost any ability that you want to a character, however, it will increase that cost by 1, but you can use one fixed ability any turn. So if we go ahead and we take this, hit that hedgehog, of course everything blacked out because I didn't actually expect to kill it, but all of these blanked out because you can only use one fixed ability a turn. Of course, there are ways to get around that. And another thing that you may have noticed happened is Sharon now has this yellow pip next to her health value here. That is called overload, or fatigue, if you will. In order to keep one character from just being able to play, like, say, all of your cards every hand, you get fatigue. And what that does is it increases the cost of all of their skills by 1 each time that you use a card with them. And so now we got our typical loot. We got an unidentified scroll, some gold, some soul stones. Soul stones are used to heal. We're going to go ahead, take Sharon here, and level her up. You can see that she's going to gain a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of healing power, attack power. Her resists are going to get better. Her debuff accuracy is going to get a little bit better. But most importantly, she's now level 2. And so she gets access to her passive. So this is obviously like exclusive to her and sort of like builds into her cards and her playstyle. Basically what it is it's kind of like an Urn of Souls from Dota 2. Anytime that we kill an enemy, we get, anytime that we kill 3 enemies, we go ahead, we get a charge of the Soul Thurible, and that basically is a free spot heal that doesn't take time. And so it allows her to sort of like off heal people, and it's kind of nice. We also get a card. So there's a lot of stuff on here that is probably going to need a little bit of explanation. So down here at the bottom, you can see that it says that it applies 1 extra stack of encroachment, and then goes ahead and tells you what that is. Encroachment 0 or 1 of 5 means that it will apply 1 stack, obviously, up to a maximum of 5. It has currently a 113% success chance. Again, similar to Darkest Dungeon, enemies are going to have resistances to certain debuffs. You're going to improve your accuracy, which is then subtracted by their resistance, and that's your actual chance of applying it. And it's going to deal 3 damage per turn. And then, of course, Encroachment will, whenever a unit dies, it will pass off to another enemy, which is kind of nice. This has Countdown. What that means is when we play this card, it's actually going to queue up off to the side, and then might have special effects because it's off over to the side, or wait until we play an amount of cards equal to the countdown, and then it will go off. And then, of course, this one here has Ignore Taunt, which basically means that there's some enemies that we have to attack first because they have access to Taunt. This would allow us to completely ignore that. I think that I actually want this. 3 stacks of Encroachment is pretty good. It deals moderate damage, but being able to ignore Taunt is pretty good. Honestly, all of these cards are decent. Yes, I would like to have access to my Soul Thurible. And we're going to just walk around and explore this dungeon a bit. This house basically is actually just a treasure chest. We use a key from our inventory in order to get an item from it. These bushes here, I kind of like walk straight up to it, are events, and you have the option of which of 2 events that you want here. I think we're actually going to use this alchemist's house. So this is going to give us a random potion, purifying potion, cleanses all debuffs. That's kind of nice. And then we are actually going to spend our key here to go into this basement to get another potion, a mark potion. Okay. And a relic pouch. And relic pouches are kind of like, well, relics and Slay the Spire artifacts, whatever you want to call them. But they allow you to change how your run works. Okay. So we were talking before about how that one, we were timed for 5 turns. This basically takes all of the negative effects off of having Black Fog active. So if you had a very slow run or like a slow build, this would be very good. There's also ways to take the Black Fog and have it attack the enemy. So then having those two together means that you actually want to clock out the fight, have Black Fog occur maybe even sooner, and then it becomes a damage source for you. Every 13 draws, remove 1 random debuff from allies. That is actually quite insane, especially since we don't have a purifier currently. Enemies take 3 additional pain damage for each stack of pain debuff applied on them. Okay, no, that's it. I'm sorry, that's kind of our build. Is that a secret passage? There are some secret passages in this game, but you need specific items in order to open them up. Okay, so this enemy on the right here has taunt, so we're not able to attack this other enemy with, I'm trying here. I can't attack the spooky floating table because of the fact that this enemy has taunt. And so we're kind of stuck in a situation here that's a little bit awkward because we have all of Miss Chain's attacks here. And so we could attack twice. I think that what we're actually going to do is we're going to bop that enemy with that. They're going to die on their turn due to encroachment. And so all I have to do is pretty much wait, but let's go ahead and recycle that. Got about what I expected. This enemy's going to go first, die, encroachment, pass it off over to this guy, and then he's going to have encroachment for 9 damage. We don't currently have our toxic barrel in play. We're going to probably take damage here, but we have nothing else to do. We're going to go ahead and end our turn. Now, we have taken damage. You can see that we have red health, which is our health bar, and we have this green health, which is a little bit weird. What this green health is healing gauge. So, in order to, again, sort of prevent the stalling that you see in Darkest Dungeon, what this game has is it has sort of like a fighting game style, like recoverable HP. Any healing that is performed on green HP is 1 for 1. It'll just act like you would expect healing to do. But if I take damage, I will lose all this green HP, and then it will shift down, right? So this will become black HP, and then let's say he does 3 damage. I would have like, sorry, I would have 3 HP of green HP here. And so what that would mean is that I can only fully recover 3 HP, but any extra HP going into black HP is reduced to, I believe, 20%. So you can kind of heal back that HP. It's just significantly harder, and it's going to take a ton of turns, which means that Black Fog is coming in. Enemies are still attacking you. It's annoying. So you would prefer to protect your healing gauge as much as possible. Miss Chain, when she gets to level 2, her passive is, whenever she uses an ability, she has a buff that protects all of her healing gauge. So, it's very hard for her to actually like lose green HP and go into black HP. Anyways, we don't have to worry about that though, because another thing is, at the end of combat, all green HP is healed. And this is just explaining what I just explained there. She also uses this buff for a variety of other reasons. Like down here you can see in the orange text, if she has access to burn, it'll consume burn and then chain heal the user for 50% of her maximum HP. Chain heal obviously means that if you have excess healing off the green gauge, it will go towards the person with the least amount of health. And this is what I was talking to before about, okay, well, Miss Chain has off healing, and so that's very useful. Otherwise, she has access to Zoom, which reduces armor, makes enemies take more damage. Relatively good, but we're actually going to go ahead and take Bazoom here. So, one thing to note is that I appreciate her having Bazoom more than basic heal. We have 6 skills. We are able to forget down to 5. Now, I don't necessarily want to do that with Sharon here because I don't know how to explain it. Like, her having 2 heals right now is kind of good. Someone has to have heals. And so we're just going to keep exploring the rest of this this floor here. Sacrifice 20 health to gain a key. I'm willing to do that. I'll take that from each of you. Give me that key. Also, if I forgot to warn you guys, this game's full of permanent bangers, so I apologize if the music is like too much for you guys. Throwing dagger, attack power, critical chance, pain accuracy, weakening accuracy. That's like perfect. Feint resistance cannot be unequipped. I think we're going to take the throwing dagger and we're going to equip that onto Sharon. And let me just check here. We have nothing else to explore. Yeah, that's just the blood donation center. I don't think we need another key. Not at the cost that they're asking for, at least. Okay, so this is our first mini-boss. Or technically it's a boss of Chapter 1. And we got Dolahan, which is quite unfortunate because he like hard counters a lot of builds. I don't think that he hard counters us though. So how he works is he puts up this barrier and this will absorb 1 hit regardless of who it what it does, who it's from, and just generally attacks us otherwise. So I think our move here is actually to quicken this. Gives her burn. Go ahead, do some damage there. Heal up there. And as you may have noticed, that definitely did not heal 8. In fact, it healed 1. And that is, again, whenever you're trying to heal past healing gauge and into black HP, it's reduced significantly. I'm hoping that we do not have to use any of these potions, but we honestly might have to use this mark potion here. That is a great dodge. We have nothing good here, so we're going to go ahead and... There we go. Not sure I really want to use that, so we'll go ahead and use this instead. It was probably better to do it the other way. Okay. I really want to fish for focus encroachment. Thank you. That's going to help us out a lot. And go ahead and protect Sharon's healing gauge, because your healing gauge is already protected by burn. So because I protected her, she didn't take any extra damage. Her healing gauge is fine. And I think, kind of in a way here, do kind of want to get that chain heal off though. So I think we're going to bazoom. And we'll wait one turn for the countdown to occur. Pretty good. Like, that was definitely a bit spooky. Speed's pretty good for us. We definitely appreciate that. Put that on Miss Chain for now. Put that on Miss Chain for now, why not? And then, of course, I think we need more mana. Quick attack's pretty good. That's definitely better than the basic attacks that we have. I actually did not realize that this attacked all enemies now. That is definitely better. And so I would actually be willing to go into here and not only forget a basic attack probably, because we're getting our third character now, is I think I want to fix that, honestly. And then I think we'll see what kind of a character we get before we get rid of another basic heal here. So after every boss, you go ahead and you have a little campfire, which is going to heal everybody a smidgen. More than enough than what we need. Sharon's just missing a little bit of HP here. We're going to go ahead, we're going to recruit. Joey is probably like the best character for us to have if we're trying to go for a DOT build. I definitely think that that's probably what we want to do. Pressel is actually probably my favorite character in this entire game, and it's not for the reasons that you think. It's that I always appreciate a character that's classified as an air quotes healer, but isn't afraid to solo a boss. Any character that's able to do that in just about every game is kind of disgusting. And so I would really like to take her, but that's probably not the best move. Trisha is... She's got a lot of good assists here. She just doesn't really fit our... Like, the main reason why I would take her is because she can copy the abilities of other people, and so then technically we can not only, like, steal... we can steal Miss Chain's burn passive and put it on Trisha, but we can also, like, put some skills on a character that can actually crit for the damn. And she can copy DOTs, drop those on enemies. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to go with Joey, though. We're going to take Joey. Another good thing about Joey is that he identifies potions for us and gives us more potions. And potions are great in this game. We can do a whole bunch of stuff at campfires by baking or burning an item. This is sort of Darkest Dungeon, where there's a lot of secret interactions with these things that I don't know about. But if you like experimenting with a ton of things, you can like burn scrolls, and that might have certain effects. We're going to just go ahead and do nothing here. And if we wanted to, we could up tier 2 items of one class of rarity up to another random item of the next class of rarity. We don't have any such ability to do that. We want to put this in our relic case so that it's now in effect. And now I want to look at this rare skill. So each character can only have one rare skill. So we kind of have to make it pretty good. This gives life leech to everybody on our team. And we just get more healing. Soul Thurible is charged by 1 whenever an ally is damaged by another ally. I don't think that we really do that right now. Certain characters do deal damage to others. Soul Thurible can be used on enemies. What? For 150% of healing damage. Protecting gas seems pretty good too. This is also a pretty damn good heal. And gives her Death's Door immunity. Holy moly. I don't know. Heals everybody for 5. It's swift. And block 1 debuff that is not resisted. That gets pretty helpful later. Then we're going to go ahead and take the protecting gases. So one thing that I've failed to mention here, and you guys probably noticed, is that at the end of the turn, we don't cycle our hand in this game. Instead, we keep all the cards that we had, and then we draw 2 new cards. Gonna go ahead and wait. Then we're gonna go ahead and heal that. There's really no reason not to use this. The only problem about being able to hold your hand is that you literally only get 2 cards a turn, which is where fixed abilities start coming in. And this is why there was an option for us to enhance our draw at when we leveled, and instead we chose mana. This should be just fine though, because Charon's a beast. And so now we will actually add card draw. It's not actually card draw, it is a draw card that is put into your deck. And each character, or your investigators, actually has access to a unique draw card that obviously feels into their passives and stuff like that as well. We didn't get any of those here to show off. Draw 3 skills prioritizing the target skills. Select 2 skills from the deck and add them to your hand. Seems pretty good. Draw 2 skills, gain 2 exchanges for this turn. I'll be honest, I kind of like recycle. And then give me a... let's get Joey to level 2. And so basically every time he levels up, he's just going to give us a random potion. Most notably, that potion's always going to be identified. I don't know if that's still a thing anymore. And another thing, that reason why we wanted Joey here is because of Chemical Weapon. It's a buff that we put on an ally that for 3 times gives them crit chance, and then they also have a chance of applying a DOT debuff. What is this? All enemies, critical chance negative, debuff resists, and adds poison. Pretty good. It's only once though. Once with swiftness. Unfortunately, it's just 1 intoxication debuff. Like, it's better than encroachment. I think we'll take a chemical weapon. And yes, I will take another mark potion. So, I think I want actually get rid of your basic heals, because these actually help us a lot more. Alright, let's find something else to pop. You just used tracking twice? That's so weird. Alright, we're done here. I am probably going to stop explaining like a lot of the stuff that's going on, simply because I don't want this to, like, game's long. Let me just throw that out there. Game is oh my god. Okay. Okay, game. We're just hitting all the right stuff here. Okay, we're going to save that last enchant for later. And I don't really have time this month for this to end up becoming like a 6 movie or 6 episode series. Forget accelerate. Obtain 1 infinite skill book? What does that even mean? I don't even know. Forget accelerate and learn 1 rare Lucy skill. Upgrade accelerate into accelerate plus. Yes. Okay. You don't necessarily have to clear all the enemies. It's just, like, you know, in your best interest. Do you only hold 2 charges? We're looking good enough here. I'm not really concerned. I have no idea what that does. Let's give you another skill. Can be used twice, deal 12 pain damage to a selected ally, and create a Forbidden Flame skill on the other hand. Little spooky. That's another pain debuff that makes enemies take damage because of our toxic barrel. Otherwise, Scattered Darkness seems good enough. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then I don't think that we need these basic heals anymore. We can turn a potion into a key and then a key into a relic. Okay, I'll bite. I think I want the mark potions. Actually, let's go over to the shop here. Buy a key, make that a relic. Skill Harden. If cast on self, heal 10% of max health. Healing gauge protected. I don't think that that's necessary. Whenever an enemy is damaged beyond their current health, any excess damage added to next heal or attack. That's pretty freaking good. Restore 4 health whenever an ally pain debuff is removed. Not really good. Cannot faint due to dark fog or pain damage. That's actually kind of insane. Okay, kind of wish that we took that that sacrificial attack then. Requires a key, of course. I don't know what I was thinking. What is this? Identification scroll. Alright, Chuckles. I'd like to know what this scroll does. It's an enchanting scroll that can enchant equipment. Okay. And then I want to fight this boss. So, one thing that I also failed to mention, because it wasn't relevant before, is, okay, so we get to hold as many cards in our hand as we want, and we never cycle our hand. So what's the catch? The catch is that a lot of the bosses in the game actually fuck with your hand actively. So if you're thinking, oh, okay, like I'll just get the wombo combo in hand and I'll just go ahead and blow up the boss for, like, say 150 damage. Again, a lot of the bosses are actively like screwing with your hand, making you play things that maybe aren't the best, but the consequence of not playing them might be extravagant. For example, it will discard this card if I do not play it. If the skill is still in hand, it'll cast Earth Shatter, which hits my entire team. Thankfully, it hit something that cost 0 and was swift, so I'm perfectly fine playing that. The Enhance module is also discarded after 1 turn, but when we cast it, we get a free random skill in our hand and reduce its cost by 1. So we want to play the blues and the reds, but the reds are obviously worse for us than the blues are good for us. So we're just going to go ahead and cast this on anybody. And we'll go ahead and use this. Hello. Use an additional attack. Adds an additional attack that deals 7 damage for each stack debuff on all enemies. Damn. I think we're going to go ahead and use this though. He's got 30 pain resist. How did we miss that? Explain. Good dodge. There we go. This is the one of the cards that we want to actually get on Miss Jane here. It increases the duration of every debuff on the enemy and also has her personal pain debuff. So obviously we'd want to use it. It also reduces pain resistance on enemies if we manage to get them to have grievous burn. So go ahead, drop that mother sucker, and we will use a heal to add 2 encroachment to you. Then might as well use this, top off your black health there. Dark heal's kind of nice. She's stunned though, so stun obviously takes her entire turn. On a note for that though, we have this tablet that we can use, or if we shuffle one of her cards, that will also remove the stun. We don't have any other like stuns on her, so I think we're going to use this tablet. She's going to dark heal herself. I think we're going to take an Absorb Soul. Increase that encroachment. Go ahead, hit yourself with Chemical Weapon. We're breathing in the chemicals. Then we might as well hit that. Go ahead, heal her a bit. Healing per turn seems pretty nice. You actually have a lot of stacks of debuff on you now, so I think this is also pretty good. You actually don't have burn, and we can't take care of this. We're gonna do that then. Okay. Skill's good, I guess. Healing power plus 20%. CC resist, pain resist. Intriguing. We do have that one enchant remaining. I believe that was here. Yes. I kind of want to enchant this. Healing power plus 2. That is pretty goated. Equip that on Joey. He's our healer. Also, give me this skill book. Fire Ground's pretty good. All allies gain a up off that when they're attacked, it'll apply grievous burn to the attacker. Pretty good for bossing. And on top of that, Miss Chain herself is going to reduce the next damage she receives to 1. Seems good. Otherwise, another Scattered Darkness, maybe. Paralyzing Dart is a stun. It is pretty good, but I think we're going to go all in on these pain debuffs. I'm not even saying that that's a great idea. What is this? Smelt equipment or relics to transform them into other items of the same type. Is there a relic that we perhaps don't want? I guess maybe Hip Sack. That seems pretty good though. Which can be used in reforging equipment. I think I understand. I don't think that that's necessarily good for us. I guess they do the same thing though, so I'll go ahead and search the warehouse. Oh, these are greens. I thought they were whites. Cancel. Loot all that. I will not pry the door open and obtain a curse skill. So we also get the ability to upgrade cards, which just adds an effect onto them. There's generic upgrades like the apply ignore taunt over here on the right, but there's also upgrades that only appear in your pool because again specific members are in your party. This will increase cost is reduced by 1, inflict 4 pain damage to yourself after casting. Interesting. So if there was something that we would want to be incredibly cheap, that'd be great. I think I have an idea. I think that having that on either a chemical weapon or even possibly Bazoom, dealing 4 pain damage to ourselves won't matter if we just go ahead and heal for 50% of our max health afterwards anyways. So I actually like that idea there. Tokens of friendship. This is sort of a side thing in the game. Again, if you want to get, like, say, the lore percent and learn more about the characters, they have sort of in risk of coming off the wrong way, a dating sim sort of system where you eventually find items in the dungeon which you can give to characters, which makes them like you more. Of course, that doesn't really do anything besides, of course, just giving you more lore. And one of the characters you have to get full friendship with 5 people in order to unlock. So you do have to interface with the mechanic, but you can just go ahead and skip all of it if you want. And again, it's not as minkus as it may sound. Blacksmith, take this scrap metal. Kind of want this. Can we just scrap metal yourselves into another throwing dagger? What? Okay. We're going to give that to Joey for now because we can't actually give her 2 of the same item for whatever reason. So, yeah, that seems pretty freaking good. I could theoretically take the Lifestone Scepter and the Throwing Dagger and up-tier them into a purple item, but I don't think that it's going to be worth it. And let's make sure to put in our new relics here. We have slots for 1 more. Going to want to keep that in mind. There's a couple that I would like to have, but not sure if I'll actually get them. At this point, the one that actually makes the Dark Fog occur sooner and makes enemies take Dark Fog damage would be relatively good, because we can't faint due to the Dark Fog itself. Let's take an item from this one. Steel Shield, armor percent, negative crit, can't be crit. Pretty good. I also really like the speed here. What speed does is it makes enemies take 1 extra turn before they attack. So having lots of speed gives you tons of time to interact with enemies. And regardless of who's wearing that, you get the benefits of speed. Give me another draw card here. If you play any other skill while this skill is in hand, draws 2 skills instead. So we would have to play this first, but it's free? Like, okay. And let's go ahead and start leveling up our other compatriots here. Engine Burner's great, adds Grievous Burn, adds more Grievous Burn if we're burning already, which gives full Grievous Burn, and then at that point I don't think anything can resist. A taunt is definitely considerable. I think we're going to grab this though, and then I think we can start forgetting some of our basic attacks. And in all honesty, let's fix this Protect, then get rid of another basic attack. Joey, let's level you up. Healing Vapor is great. All allies get healing per turn. Like, that's pretty mint. Cast this skill on the target and the ally on their right side. Until the stage ends. Maximum health plus 20%. Hold up. What? That's kind of huge. And I'm over here looking at healing per turn. These are both really freaking good. When did Joey get that? And it can stack twice? Okay. Okay, game. I understand. That's actually incredibly insane, because one of the tanks in this game actually scales his damage off of his maximum health. Obtain 1 heroic equipment and 1 Lucy curse. I'm actually willing. Honestly, might be willing to do Blood Bank again too. Get some keys. That's free items. We have more people to spread this out on. And we'll come back later. These little smoke here just means that enemy reinforcement is incoming. Kind of liking this. Protecting gas into augment healing. Seems right. Oh my god, they're chunky. Is there anything here we don't want? Might as well get rid of this. Okay. Perfection. Okay, heal would be nice. Let's go ahead and use that on you. Give you a little bit of overheal there. Reason we're doing this is we're probably going to go right back and it's a little rude. Probably going to go right back and sacrifice more health for those keys. Panic? Convert items into gold. I'm going to spin it to win it. Balls. No more blood can be donated, says you. Pay soul stones to buy and investigate a rare skill or upgrade a skill. Yes, absolutely. I'll pay 3 soul stones in order to gain another rare skill. Now, we already took a rare skill on Joey, so it's going to have to be somebody else. Dismantle armor. Success chance is through the roof. Negative 50 armor. Reduces 1 stack after taking damage 50. I don't know if we actually use that much. Deal damage equal to the total remaining pain damage of the target and user. What? What is this thing? I'll take a nuke. I don't think we need better heals for Joey. He's kind of one of the best healers in the game already. Give me another key. Give me some bread. We can't afford any of this. What am I doing? We'll just leave. We'll leave, I guess. Let's go all the way up here. This is a spooky fight. Let's open up with one of these. Focus encroachment on probably you? You're going first. It's the best. It's a little rough. Broken, we receive 2 damage whenever we cast one of our own skills. Kind of nasty. And Stigma just increases damage that we take. Yeesh. Let's get some chain healing here. Okay, we're actually looking quite good now. Let's accelerate Dark Heal. And then I guess try to get one more turn of Broken. Alright. Oh, jeez. I hate this guy so much. So he must be defeated first. Increase receiving damage by 33% whenever damage is taken. And as you can notice, he has a truck ton of HP. It will not be fun. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, enemies are starting to become a little bit more serious. We got 6 points. We should be leveling people up. Still have a bunch of basic attacks. We should fix that. Is this better than a basic attack? I don't know. This character receives 10 damage based on attack power. When a party member loses health due to another party member, deal double damage. Only one soul stigma can occur at a time. I'll be honest, looking pretty good. Still not sure if that's better than a basic attack. But we'll choose to believe. Alright. And Joey, we can also probably get rid of one of your basic attacks here. Alright, seems like we're out of here. Unless we want to use a key on this thing right here. Do we even have an open slot? No. We'll do it anyways. Rusty Dagger, critical damage, critical healing? A little bit of everything here. Yeah, no, let's just take the Rusty Dagger for now. I don't think that it's particularly great, but we might be able to blacksmith it up into a decent blue. This motherfucker. Okay. So, the first thing he's going to do is show me a few cards from my deck, and I get to decide what I would rather not have for the rest of this battle. I think I am willing to go without health augmenting patch. And now when we draw what that card used to be, it's going to result in bad times. Alright, give me my lightning draw. Soul Stigma into Focus Encroachment seems like a decent first turn here. It's a little... Of course, Overload. I forgot about it already. And the force skill that we use is going to stun somebody, 150%. So the person with the most stun resistance, I believe, would be Miss Chain, because she's got extra, like, resistance, if that makes sense. Maybe Protecting Gas is worth using. Fireground Protecting Gas? I'll choose to believe. I think we focus encroachment on the enemy, actually. This enemy right here. This deals not a lot of damage. I don't think that we need to zoom before it. We probably should zoom before it, though. It's kind of nice. She resisted the... I guess not. She will get stunned here. This is going to be fine, though. Debuff was blocked. You ain't going to cuff me today, sucker. Draw a skill from the deck. All allies with bleeding or stun take 15 damage when this card is cast. I don't think we're bleeding. So we want to use this, or don't, actually. We just might as well draw, I feel. I think it's Bazoom. Into Focus Encroachment. Hello. And actually, just protect Sharon. Dodged. Oh my goodness, we're actually just flexing on this guy. Get rid of a basic attack, I don't care. Sharon's got quite a bit of attacks in hand. Let's buff her up. Unfortunately, not a lot of debuffs here. I still think that this is probably when we use this. That's a lot of damage, and you're pretty much miffed next turn. Okay, believe me when I say that that's normally a hard and annoying boss, alright? Like, I'm sorry. Got some free healing 101, that's nice. A relic pouch, we can't just use that out of our inventory. What's the least useful thing here? I guess a small barrier generator. We want that. And honestly, giving Joy a generic healing skill might not necessarily be bad at all. Just get rid of this rusty dagger then. Get it out of my face! Select a target. Because these all technically count as healing? I don't understand. Some of these are definitely not healing. Weakening Smog is pretty good, actually. We do use a lot of buffs, but not necessarily. 2 health augmenting patches, maybe. Some health vapors, maybe. I think intoxication is fine. We're getting rid of a auto attack on you anyway, so might as well actually have something that does something. And apologies, but with that, after we do our camping here, this is going to be the end of this video. For reference, we are approximately halfway through the game at this point, so we should be able to finish the rest of this in the next video, assuming that, of course, 1, we don't get bopped, and 2, we don't end up on a difficult boss fight that takes a long time. But we're actually kind of bursty. I don't think that that's going to be the case. We could take Purcell anyways. Whoop whoop! Ironheart's kind of good. I don't know if he's good for us. He basically enables overhealing. Any health that would go into, like, past healing gauge, obviously, he will actually save an amount of it and then put it into shielding, which, of course, protects health in general. So he's actually, like, quite powerful. I just don't think that we heal enough to actually use that. Silverstein here is more about focus DPS. Each time that you spend a card from your hand on an enemy successively, he gets free attacks against that enemy. So just more of an aggressive all-in, like, single target nuke setup. We already talked about Trisha. She actually, again, she wouldn't be too bad here. And then, of course, Perset, like, come on, man. Like, it's going to take everything in my being to not... Like, she adds so much burst damage to this team. She doesn't do anything for pain debuffs, but then again, like, nobody here has pain debuffs. The only thing that might work is Trisha copying someone else's skills and then using that for pain debuffs. We do spend a lot of cards on people, so Silverstein would be a little bit more like like extra little bit of damage. Since Miss Chain is technically trying to heal us, Ironheart would also be notable. Is this like a recommend? What's... Oh, because I've won with this character. That's what that is. We're going to try Trisha. She's probably the most synergetic member for the team. everybody else is just like good. All right. So then we're good here. And basically, every time she plays 5 skills, the next skill played costs 0. So she's basically like free skills. We have a lot of high cost cards in our hand. With, what is it, Soul Pillar, pretty much all of Sharon's attacks, like, cost a frick ton. So it's kind of nice. Mirror Image allows us to duplicate a skill in our hand, which is exactly what I was talking about. Very good. Shadow Curtain allows her to evade 1 attack. Ignore Taunt cannot be fixed. If the target is CC debuffed. I don't, like, we could get access to that, but I think it's a little late for us to take caught off guard. Remove a random pain debuff. If none of your skills are in hand, draw 1. That's not bad. What is this? What? Ah. I see. Yes. She can only use it 3 times, and so that's why that debuff is on it. If you are in double team, stun a random enemy and gain critical chance for 2 turns. I mean, it's not a bad skill. Go ahead, we'll take that. Alright, and so we can probably actually start pain accuracy, that should be here. But we can probably take this rapier and transfer that over. And if that's honestly going to be something that we're going to keep a while, we might as well enchant it. Debuff success. Well, now I want to put it back on Cheryl. What the frick? You're not really helping yourself, Trisha. Otherwise, the rest of this looks pretty good. We need to pick one of these. Shadow Orb. If there are 2 or less skills in hand, draw a skill when you cast a skill from hand. What the frick? Okay. Heal all allies by 2 at the end of the turn. Damn. This seems insane. This seems very good. Like, we have enough spot healing that I think we can almost make Joey go, like, full DOT at this point if we take, Lollipop. This just seems very good versus bosses that make us want to, like, remove cards from hand or that force us to remove cards from hand. We kind of already want to get another draw card, so the odds of us actually using this seem relatively low. It does happen, though. Did we not run out of skills in one fight? Huh. I think we're going to take the Lollipop. I think it has our energy on it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to save here. So thanks again for watching. Again, another video that should hopefully conclude this run will be coming out later. Otherwise, obviously, I think that it was a good presentation of like how the game runs. I hope I did a good job explaining like all the nuances and stuff like that that would maybe answer your initial questions into the game. If I didn't, and you have more questions, comments, concerns, maybe want to point out some misplay alerts, be sure to put those down in the comments below. And until next time, I will catch you guys around.